Hello, everyone, and welcome to lesson 2. And today I get to introduce you to my dear friend Mary Thomas, who is the co-creator in these incredible inspiration cards. So today, Mary and I are going to share with you the word dare. We'll start by just reading the questions that we came up with. And then we thought we would just have a conversation. The act of daring is unique to me. It doesn't have to be world shattering, loud, or acclaimed by others to be worth the risk. Whether in baby steps or with huge leaps of faith, I am willing to dare being all that I can be. So, Mare, do you want to dive in with dare?
Sure. Um, I had shared earlier before we started that when I woke up this morning, and I think Rhonda shared with you my journey, my walk with cancer recently, and I'm just recovering from a very extensive surgery, several surgeries, and am just into week 6 of recovery from that. And this morning, I was thinking about us getting together and doing that, and this word specifically, and it was like, I had to dare myself to get up. It was easy to just say, I'm just going to lay here and put the covers over my head and let the day go. Before I know it, it'll be 4 o'clock in the afternoon and half the day's over.
Right. Right.
However, in thinking about that, the energy of that was really discouraging. And I found that I just had to bring myself to that point to say, you're going to get up. You've got things that an appointment, a doctor's appointment and things, and meeting with Rhonda, and you're going to get up and you're going to do it. And it was daring myself to step up to that old me who never would have questioned getting up and doing these things. But now is faced with, wow, how do I do this? How do I get through one more day of not feeling like myself? How do I dare to be myself when I haven't been able to get back to that point of who I held myself to be?
Right.
So what I'm getting is that it's daring to be who you are in the moment with that forward vision of, and who do I want to be? Because it's about daring to be the best we can be.
Right.
And that's not making excuses. It's maybe having some harsh words with yourself for a bit and then calling your good friend and saying, help. But it is courageous. It's brave.
Yeah.
It's all of those things that we never really consider until we often hit a wall or our life changes drastically.
Right.
And we have to determine who am I now, and how do I dare to be more than this, and beyond this, beyond the circumstances,
Right.
because that is what is. Like Rhonda talked about in Allow, it's not fighting what is, but daring to not be limited by what appears to be.
Yeah. And I think, Mayor, being vulnerable is the most courageous, it's the purest form of courage. Um, I listened to a recording, an interview with Brene Brown, who many of you know. And if you don't know her work, look her up. But she was talking about without being vulnerable, there is no courage. They're interwoven. And
Yes.
especially when you're faced with big stuff, And especially for you and me and so many who have been taught from the moment we got here to push through, to dare to evaluate each situation and say, okay, the most daring thing for me today is to get up when
Yeah.
I choose not to.
And face my day. Yes.
And then sometimes the most daring thing you can do is listen not to the part of you that is without hope, but listening to that fragment that says, no, the most loving thing you can do today is stay in bed. It takes listening
Yes.
to know where the daring is. Is the daring to push through, or is the daring to sit still and be present, whether you're active and pushing forward, or be present whether you're taking the time,
Yeah.
because the healing journey that you're on requires both,
Yes.
you know.
Well, yeah, and it's also daring to allow that new you to emerge,
Yes.
not holding on to or expecting. I will never get back to where I was. I mean, for one thing, I have missing body parts and things now, you know? So
Right. That's
there's
right.
no way this is ever going back.
Right.
So, you know, it's, there's grieving about that, you know, but it's like daring to recreate yourself, because it's really what we do daily without thinking. I think how we adjust to things, we're always recreating and creating, but to dare to, in the midst of it all, to just say, okay, and what, with that decision or thought, what's the energy, and can I dare to have a better energy?
Right.
Can I dare to change that thought and that feeling, choose a new feeling?
Yeah.
And
Whether in baby steps or huge leaps of faith.
hanging
Sometimes,
off that cliff, yeah.
right, you can't do any more than just one baby step.
Yeah.
Um, and especially when pain is involved, you really want to retreat from it rather than make friends with it.
Yeah.
Imagine a thermostat and just see if you can take the dial of the thermostat and turn it one notch down, and then just another notch down.
Yeah.
It's those simple, small ways of taking care of ourselves and daring to listen and respond rather
Yeah.
than listen and react.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
And the being totally brutally honest with ourselves,
yeah,
because we have lied to ourselves most of our lives. Have been lied to and lied to ourselves,
right,
you know, based on what we've been taught and our experiences and our fears and everything else, and to really get past that veil of illusion, that illusion
right,
that we're not perfect and whole and complete,
right,
you know, regardless of what's been removed from your body or whatever has happened, you know, in our life. And
right.
to be brutally honest and authentic with ourselves. And I think that's a dare, you know, because it's an unknown, you
Yes,
know, or for most of us, I think it's like, who am I really? Who would I be if I hadn't grown up with a mother who never left the depression era in her mind?
right.
You know, you could go on with 100 examples of that, you know, and it's how do I dare now to acknowledge all of that, be grateful for all of that, but not be that
Right,
anymore.
right. And
Yeah.
and in closing, I want to reiterate how you said, you know, you have those harsh conversations with yourself and then you reach out. There's, it takes great courage and daring to reveal the whiny ass part of yourself rather than the badass part of yourself. You know, it's like to reach out when you really don't want to show up as vulnerable, and know that being vulnerable, being able to translate that being daring is being courageous, even
Yeah.
in the small, simple ways of reaching out and asking for help. Because I think
Yeah.
that is sometimes the biggest dare we have.
Right. Absolutely.
Especially for you, my sweet friend, who's so good at being there for everyone else. I'm grateful that you've been willing to dare to receive.
Thank you. And it has been a stretch.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, definitely. And it's foreign. And I might get used to it.
Yeah, there you go. So the act of daring is unique to me. It doesn't have to be world shattering, loud, or acclaimed by others to be worth the risk. Whether in baby steps or with huge leaps of faith, I am willing to dare being all that I can be. So Mary and I invite you to go out today
Yeah.
and dare to be.
Yeah.